can fuck you good, but I can fuck you better.
Okay, enough. I need to apologize for the members of the audience who have eaten recently. But you have to understand that I want to take advantage of the fair use policy for as long as I can, because the European Union wants to destroy fair use. And it's thanks for Angela Merkel and her party. I love that woman. I really do. See, I think everyone needs an Angela Merkel in their life. That woman makes you appreciate life. She makes you appreciate the day you're in, because you know sometime in the future her party is going to fuck it up and is going to make it more horrible. So best live in the present. You know, don't think about the future. Don't think what's going to happen, because it's going to be bad. All right? Just live in the present and appreciate life. It's almost like living with terminal cancer when you get her party in the European Union. You know something bad is going to happen, and you just go through the stages, and eventually you reach acceptance. And when you're in acceptance, you're like, you know what? I'm going to make the best of my life. I'm going to live it at its fullest. And that's that. You know, gonna hug and kiss my mother. You know, gonna talk to my friends and meet everyone I know, and I'm going to have a happy day generally, right? So, according to Julia Rida, which is an MP in the European Union, she is saying that the German Christian Democrats are using mafia methods to stop their European Party colleagues from voting against the link tax. Knowing they have all the facts and experts against them, they resort to threats. So what is the link tax? The link tax would force people who are linking to press articles to pay a tax, right? So we're talking about internet giants such as Google and Facebook. They would have to pay for linking to press articles. Like, let me explain to you how retarded this is. If I make a video and I put into the description the link to the article, that costs money, okay? I don't know if I will have to pay it or YouTube will have to pay it. But either way, someone's going to have to pay it. If I make a video where I release a headline, someone's going to have to pay for that shit. Like, the only way to get around it, I guess, would be for me to stop linking sources and instead say, I want everyone to Google, okay, Google right now, Angela Merkel threatens Viktor Orban that if he doesn't take more migrants, he's going to be kicked from the EPP. Like that is the type of thing that we're going with here, you know? By the way, Google it, that's a real story. And I know I'm dissing on Angela Merkel. It's not her, it's her party, but she's a symbol, right? She's put there to be hated. It's not her. It's the people behind her, basically. She's the avatar. So anyway, right? let me explain to you how ridiculous this is from a legal standpoint. They're basically giving journalists an inalienable right. Like they are saying that Jesus Christ, God himself, has given this right to the journalist to receive compensation every time a twat on the internet is linking to his publication. Do you know why? Because the publication cannot waiver this right. They can't say, you know what, we don't want money. Like, it's fine, it's fine. People can use our shit. They can share it freely. They will not be able to do that. Because I assume they don't want some publications to become more popular with the readers. Because imagine if Breitbart goes, you know what? We're not going to want any money. You can share our articles. Right? And then a lot of people go to read that. And the market decides, but no. No. They can't do it. Can't do it. Everyone is forced to pay. And everyone under the sun is coming up and saying it's a bad idea. Apparently, it's against the principles of the Bernie Convention. I didn't know about this, but apparently it's a thing. And apparently it says that you have a right to quote news articles and create press summaries. You have historians, of all people, historians are coming up and saying, look, they did this in Spain. Okay, they tried this shit in Spain, but instead of paying money, Google just shut down in the country instead. I don't know what this means. What does anyone who's Spanish, please explain to me, what does Google shutting down in your country mean? I'm legitimately curious. But anyway, it didn't work. people are saying, look, it's bad. You have people from the press, okay? The press who apparently this is supposed to be for. You know, this is the legislation that's supposed to protect the press and shit. They're coming up and they're saying no. You know, you have people who understand politics better than I do and say, look, this is going to spread fake news more. Everyone is against it. Everyone, every single person is with a little common sense is saying they're against it. And this is why the people that are for it are now resulting to threats and mafia-like tactics, almost like the feminists. Sorry for insulting the mafia, by the way. But it's just the way I see it. It's the way I see it, and if I see it, I call it as such. I mean, listen to this. A member of the jury committee, who said he did not wish to be named, said, I know that several members of our committee have been under huge pressure to vote in favor of this particular proposal. The German CDU, via its EPP affiliate, has been reportedly pressuring them to vote in what you might call the right way. Okay, so apparently there is a right way to vote, and there is a wrong way to vote. Be careful you vote the right way, otherwise shit will happen. And apparently they're saying that there have been threats of members not being allocated, reports, and parliamentary position if basically they don't do what they are told. The alleged involvement of the German publisher gives cause for some concern. Now I know what some of you Amerikanski are going to say. It's like, you know, lobbying. It's part and parcel of the democratic system. I disagree. You know, I don't think that the people elected should be worried about their seats and being, you know, mistreated by people from other nations and threatened into submission. I think the only people that should threaten a parliamentary representative is the people that elected him. You know, I'm sorry if I'm a little bit idealistic, if I'm a little bit, you know, anti-lobbying, I guess. But yeah, I kind of am with the impression that this is not okay in spirit. Okay, it's not illegal. No one is saying that it's against the law. I'm just saying it's not good sport. You know, it's not the shit that I like to hear. And the person making the accusation even responds to this criticism that is just lobbying, bro. I understand how things work in the parliament, and lobbying is part and parcel of the EU decision-making process. But when it comes to threats and warnings, that is crossing a line. And by the way, this is not where the shit show ends. Apparently, they also want to push for upload monitoring obligation, upload filters, and the best thing of all, upload surveillance. So basically, if Google wants to do business in the European Union, it's going to have all of these things in place. So the consequences, and this is according to experts, right? It's not according to me. The consequences is that freedom of expression is going to be limited because uploading software cannot tell infringement apart from legal use like parody, specifically enabled by exceptions and limitations to copyright. You know, you remember like when those right-wing channels were deleting from YouTube and they were like, oh, whoopsie, you know, the AI is learning. Yeah, that might happen again. We might see more of that shit. Independent creators are going to be harmed. Platforms will receive instructions as to what to do with content to automatically remove from large commercial rights holders. When independent creators have works removed by filters that are covered by exceptions or otherwise misidentified as infringing, they will effectively be deemed guilty until proven innocent. You know, this should be, by the way, the current YouTube's motto. You know, the way they treat channels. But it's going to be like that, but on steroids. You know, because up till now, if YouTube didn't do anything about, let's say, hate speech, right? If they don't do anything about it, they risk losing advertisers. But now they will risk having the government fine them, right? And it's not going to be for hate speech. It's going to be for copyright content, which is going to be expanded to things like linking news articles or news snippets or anything like that. So the AI is going to try to track down people who are misbehaving. And if you're caught, it's going to be up to a person to decide if you broke the law or not. And usually these people, they err on the side of caution, so they will assume that, yeah, it's better to say he broke the law than to pay a fine. And finally, it's a startup killer, which requires a huge burden on internet companies and discourages investment in user-generated content, preventing EU competition to the targeted dominant US platforms from arising, effectively locking in YouTube's dominance. And I know a lot of people are happy about the fact that, you know, this is targeting YouTube, that is targeting Google. But I prefer the free market to target YouTube and Google than to have the government have these ridiculous legislations, which have been tried in Spain. And they were massively unpopular, both politically, economically, and regarding free speech. And because it didn't work, because Google just said, you know what, we're not going to pay, we're going to shut down. Let's play chicken. And eventually, as I understand, like Spain gave in and renounced all those laws. But now they're, you know what, let's apply it to the whole continent. Let's apply it to the whole EU. Because surely, you know, Google is going to have to pay rather than shut down. I am just bewildered. You know, like, since I started my channel, I have constantly spoke against the EU before it was cool. Like, I remember back in the day when I was talking against the EU and saying how undemocratic it is and saying how authoritarian it is. Most people were coming in and it's like, well, V, you're with the Russians. You're with the Russians. You hate the EU. You hate democracy. Like, look. Was I wrong? Was I wrong? I mean, honestly, every time I hear something that's coming from the EU, it's something negative. You know, it's like, how to fuck with the people, the institution. That is the EU right now. So yeah, if you want to learn more, follow Julia Rida on the Twitter. She usually tweets in Deutsch, in German, unfortunately. But when she's referring about this, she is talking in English. So there's also hashtag upload filters and hashtag article 13. You can keep informed over there. So yeah, that's what I had to talk about it. Again, I just want to go back to making funny videos. I want to make some comedy. I want to take a little break from the important stuff, but things just keep piling up. Hopefully this law will not pass. We're going to know in a month, by the way. Yeah, this is the amount of time people have to act before the law is placed into action, which again makes me think that they know it's very unpopular, which is why people have such a limited window of opportunity to try to petition their MPs in order to vote against it. I will personally write emails to my European representatives in order to raise awareness about this. I suggest everyone does the same. Hopefully this law will not pass. Even if you're American, you need to understand why this is bad. Number one, you're going to get less content from Europeans, and you might not care about that, but the systems in place to filter uploads, the systems for surveillance, they're just going to be, you know, used and made better so that eventually it's going to be applied in your nation when there is going to be a need for surveillance. So don't think that this doesn't affect you just because it's affecting Europe. Another thing is the whole idea of a license tax. You know, this whole concept. You know, it's something that you don't know if in the future some American might not say, oh, well, the Europeans are doing it. Maybe we should too. I mean, look at the healthcare conversation. You know, every European country has free healthcare. You know, maybe Americans should have it as well. Like, this type of conversation usually like points out, oh, someone else is doing it. We need to do it as well because it's a great idea.